Good evening, fam. What is the first thing you think about when you hear the word submission? Now, I'm pretty sure it's something negative. And why is that? Stay with me. We are going to have a real discussion about submission in a relationship. This is going to get juicy, y'all. Welcome to the Sweet Life with Texas Brown Sugar. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I am Lessa Davis, and I want to sweeten up your life with easy solutions for busy cooks, cool housekeeping hacks and tricks that will save you time and money, and of course, share with you my life lessons. Now, let's get some of this housekeeping out of the way. First, if you have not, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Come and help your sister out to my channel. Also, I have a website. You can find all things Sweet Life on the website. I have my merch. I've written a couple of blogs. I've also have some of my recipes on there as well. Also, if you like to hang out in social media world, I am on Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube, texasbrownsugar.com. Come hang out with me. I love discussions. I love the content being shared with me on social media. So yeah, come check me out. I am there all the time. I did take a hiatus, probably it's been about a month now. And if you can tell, I've done a lot of changes. I've cut my hair, I've colored it. And okay, so the only reason why I got this full face of makeup on, because this won't happen very often, I just came back from a bridal shower. It was a really nice one. So who do we have out there? Shout out, let me know where you are coming from. Iceberg Slim, he said he's in the building. He's hit that like button. I like your talk, Iceberg Slim. We got Shad in the house. Hi, Shad. How are you? Um, what are you guys up to these days? Normally when we do our conversations, I like to have a drink. Usually it's a wine or a coffee. But today I have a peach tea that from Black Coffee, and it's a black tea, so it has a little caffeine in it. It's really, really good. But you're going to need some tea because we're going to be sipping on some tea tonight, or maybe your wine or your coffee. I know I've been wanting to discuss this topic for a while now. But looking at the recent posts on social media, I decided that it was time. I thought about this, thought about what I said literally at least for like 3-4 months. And I'm doing it because I'm tired of Satan using people through the means of social media to show free spirited single people being applauded for being independent. And that's what you can choose. But I really believe they are putting out the wrong message. The wrong message for the married woman or those that want to get married, because now they're questioning why an intelligent, stimulating, and accomplished woman could be subservient and inferior to their husband. And it's time to set the record straight. And I can set the record straight because I have a little experience doing this. I don't want to tell my age, but I have been in this game, the married life, for 10 plus years. I have learned a lot, and I want to share that with you. So let's get a sip of tea because what I'm about to tell you is probably the most important important aspect of the whole submission and what it means. Um, get whatever you're drinking on and let's sip one. Mm. And I'm about to shut it down with this one comment, or one message, one takeaway. The most important thing that you need to learn about submission. You should submit with your heart and not your head. Once you understand that, everything else that I'm about to tell you will fall right in line. Again, submit with your heart and not your head. Game changer. It will bring you into the right perspective. It will make sense. So let's talk about some submission. One. Oh, and shout out. Oh, we got Hilton. Hilton is in the building. He's talking about school. I'm less. Thank you, Hilton. And Shad, I love you, brother. Good seeing you. But first thing, we're always talking about submission, and we talk about how it pertains to women and men and being in a relationship. But what we need to understand is that submission is for everyone. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Submission applies to men, women, whether you're single or you're married. And you have to understand, throughout our lives, we have always submitted to an authority figure in our lives. Look up the definition of submission. Submission means to yield. We have always had some authoritative figure in our lives that we yielded to. We submit to God as being children of God. As a daughter and son, we submit to our parents. As a student, we submit to our teachers. And as an employee, we submit to our supervisors and our managers. I mean, think about it. Even Jesus submitted. He is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. He submitted. He submitted when he laid on the cross. Jesus can submit. Why can't we submit? Another important aspect of submission, which a lot of people are taking out of the equation, is that, and I've learned this personally, that submission works best when faith is a part of the equation. Submission plus faith equals power. We'll get into how that equals power. But you have to have faith. Satan is doing a really good job at degrading and devaluing the importance of submission. And I really, really am getting annoyed at the fact that he's doing such a good job, that has a lot of these women questioning themselves. Um and that's not that's not what God wanted. Uh so I know a lot of you are probably in certain situations. Let's just say women. And you're probably questioning, what if those in authority disagree with you? Well, this peach tea is good. Know that you have the right to express your differences. No one should ever take that away from you. Matter of fact, is your duty to express your differences. But you have to do it by checking your attitude at the door. And I had a hard time doing this when I first got married. We have to check our attitude at the door and be one of humility. What Kendra Lamar said, sit down, be humble, sit down. Yes, we are not always going to agree with our authoritative figure, whether it be our husband, our boss, teachers, parents. Also, you have to understand too is that they have the final decision is theirs because they are the authoritative figure. God put them in authoritative position for a reason. Everyone has a purpose. And I implore you guys to go and check out a live that I did about purpose. It's pretty cool. But you've got to understand your purpose to know where you fit in this world. Another question you might be asking yourself, what if you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are right and they are wrong, and that their decision is going to have a negative effect? Two things can happen. You can do like I did in the beginning of my marriage and press the point, nag, get upset, walk around the house, mad at the world, which could also lead to the authoritative figure, your husband, your manager, to be angry with you as well because you walking around with a funky attitude. Or you can do as I have learned and continue to learn. Just give the situation to God. Was that Philippians 2:14-15? And I'll put all of the notes. Don't worry. I got your back. TexasBrownSugar.com. I'll have all the notes for you. God has the power to help us turn from our human nature of wanting things our way. And we've got to trust him. Not only do we need to trust him, but know that you may be blocking your blessing or someone else's blessing because you are wanting things a certain way. And you got to be patient when you turn it over to God. The result could happen overnight, maybe, or it could take some time. It's in his time, not ours. So you choose. You want to be angry, mad, make everybody else around you angry, mad, or you can give it to God. Red pill, green pill. What you gonna choose? Red pill. That. um. So, Lessa, what happens when the authority does the opposite of what you suggest? This happens a lot. you've got to be willing to let God direct them. Okay. God, I think sometimes has like some humor because of how he can change their minds, even when it seems like they are so intent on their decision. Um, and you got to think too that when we defy the authority figure that God has placed in our lives, we're basically saying God is not in control, that God can just kick rocks and that it'll be better because I'm going to step in and I'm going to make everything right. God ordained man to be the head of the household. He did. And see, this is why I said it's very important that you understand that faith is a huge part of submission. Um the man is responsible for the family. So when it's time for us to leave this earth, because God has ordained the man to be the head of the household, who do you think God is going to talk to about the things that went on with your family? He's going to hold the man responsible. How does that look if you made all of these decisions, but your husband is responsible for the family? He's responsible for you. And so you're making decisions that he's supposed to be making and he's responsible for. He's got to look to God. You got to let go and let God. Let God do what he's got to do so you won't be walking around the house mad at everybody because it didn't go your way. God will show you, he's going to show them they're wrong in his time and in a way that more 9 times out of 10 you'll not even know that God has did his thing. It's been many a times that I've just been like, all right, you know, God, I said my piece, I'm gonna let it be. And to to my surprise, he actually listened to me. And my husband listens to me more when I am at peace, when I've allowed God to do his thing and literally and thinks about what I have to say more intently when I'm not, you need to do it this way. Yes, my husband has not always made the right decision, but there's a lot of times where I haven't made the right decision. None of us are perfect. But if you choose to be in a relationship with a man and be that wife and have the husband, you've got to understand there are there's authority. God, your husband, and then everybody else. Um Iceberg Slim said submission is given, never forced. I like that. India says, I've had to learn that I cannot submit without the help of the Holy Spirit. Man, if that is not true, very true. Iceberg Slim, I think we're gonna get into your comment too later on about how submission is given and it's never forced. Um, another thing, our sinful nature is just what it is going to lead us not to follow God's plan. that the plan of the husband's lead and the wife submits. But what you have to understand is if you don't follow God's plan, it can lead, and a lot of times it does, to self destruction. I don't want none of y'all down that road of self destruction, all because we're in our ways. We got this sinful nature that does not want us to follow behind a man. I promise you, had I not, I wish someone would have told me some of the things that I have learned now. I don't know if I would have really listened to them, but maybe I would have gained these, understood submission better. Um, and I mean, it takes faith for us to be obedient to God's will. It took me a lot of years and a lot of faith to get to where I'm at right now. Hashtag God's working on me. Okay. He really truly is. And I'm telling you all of this, and I know all of this because I have experienced this. I have dealt with this. I understand where these young women are coming from. Before meeting my husband, I was very independent. I had my own condo. I had a great job. I was making my own money. And then all of a sudden, I get married, and now I have to make suggestions on how our family is supposed to move forward. And that was hard for me. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But know that once you finally get to the point where you are submitting with your heart and not your head, everything else will be so much better. I used to burn with anger about my husband and the decisions that he was making. I mean, now I turn it over to God. Sometimes it's difficult. And I have peace when I do. It's one of those things where there's some things that are worth fighting for and other things is just not. You got to turn it over to God. He is going to handle it. Wait for him to show up. And a lot of times he is going to show out. Through it all, I have learned to be patient. It takes a lot of patience to see some of these things through. And I had to do a lot of praying. Jesus, you know me. You know my heart. You know what I'm saying is true. I just pray he hears me, that he understands me. And I had to let it go. I think about that song that my kids used to sing all the time. That Disney song, y'all know it. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah, you got to let it go. Let it go. You married this man for a reason. Let him be the man. Let him lead. Let him show you he can lead. And for those who are looking to get married, baby, make that one of your top qualities that you look for. That this man can make decisions, that he can be the leader of your household. Now, I say my piece to my husband. I always have my 2 cents. I'm never shut down, never gotten to the point where I don't say my 2 cents. But I've learned to say my 2 cents and let go. And it's funny because my husband takes me more serious now. He is more at peace because I am at peace. And my family, my house, my children are at peace. And that's another thing too. Children, they're like Polly Parrots. They say any and everything we do, they mimic us. So if there is no peace in your house because y'all fighting over who's gonna make the final decision, what do you think your children are seeing and taking in? You don't want that. So my question to you guys, do you have the faith to believe that even if the authoritative figure in your life makes the wrong decision or makes a mistake, that God can make it right? Faith, submission equals power. Like, y'all a power couple then. Let's take a look at some of the comments we got. India, she said, I had to learn that I cannot submit without the help of the Holy Spirit. Fresh out, less dog, all facts, salute. I just hope somebody else is taking what I am saying and taking heed to it. I'm giving you my life lessons, and it works. It works. Let me tell you. India, it is so much easier for a wife to submit to a husband that loves her like Christ loves the church. Ephesians 5. Facts. That is one thing that I truly can say is that my husband, he truly loves me. And despite everything the ups and downs of our relationship, and the fact that I am now submissive and I am allowing him to lead, man, it's just better. It's almost as if like a weight has been lifted off of you when you say your piece and you let it go. Let him make the final decision. Nothing is perfect. It's never gonna be perfect. You're not perfect. He's not perfect. But I know somebody who is. And I know somebody who you can trust and give it over to him. Again, I thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you all gained something from this discussion. And again, if you did not get anything from this topic, the one thing I want you to remember: submit with your heart and not your head. Everything else will fall in line. All right. Again, check me out on my Facebook, Instagram. You can chat up with me on my website. And if you feel the need to support, you can definitely cash at me at Texas Brown Sugar. And I wish you all a great night. I am going to finish my tea. Hopefully, you guys are going to have a wonderful evening and that your week will be fabulous, blessed, all of the above. I love you guys, and I will see y'all later.